Right, let's get you more reaction now. Political parties have welcomed the decision to go ahead with the local government elections as planned. Let's speak to Action SA's Herman Mashaba, who joins us now virtually. Dr. Mashaba, thank you very much for your time. Now, firstly, of course, a lot of the political parties are welcoming the decision by the Apex Court yesterday. But I also have a feeling, or rather have read, that a lot of the opposition parties are feeling as though the IEC has actually dented the people's confidence in credible elections for this year.
Well, thank you very much, first of all, and good morning. Without any doubt, IEC has really done such massive damage to the credibility of these elections. However, as a Section SA, we welcome the decision by the Constitutional Court, because honestly, any decision outside what was taken would have really been a violation of our Constitution, would have made our Constitution a mockery of our Constitution. So it is now up to the IEC to stop listening to the ANC and do what they are constitutionally obliged to do, to ensure that South Africans are given the opportunity and the right as enshrined in our Constitution to decide and elect who must actually elect them after every 5 years. So yes, for us as Action SA, we welcome the decision. We are ready. As I'm talking to you right now, I'm right in eThekwini, because eThekwini is one of the municipalities we're going to be contesting, and our people on the ground are ready.
Now, in terms of voter registration and the IEC being given until Wednesday, I think, to announce whether or not that would be a possibility, does Action SA think that there's going to be a possibility of opening up a weekend for voter registration?
To be honest with you, that is another really fundamental step by the ConCourt to request or demand IEC, and I hope they are not going to come out with excuses that they cannot open up voter registration, because by them allowing the ANC all along to lead this challenge, they've obviously abdicated their responsibility to give South Africans an opportunity, particularly the ones who've just turned 18 years the last 2 years, giving them the opportunity to go out and vote. As you are aware, we're sitting in South Africa with 74% of our youth unemployed. So our youth are really tired. They've really had enough of the failed political system. So our people are looking for change, and they have a constitutional right to really decide who they need to really be their political leader. So we hope that IEC has to really make a plan to ensure that they have a weekend of voting. But also, I mean, in today's days of technology, let them allow people to really vote online, those who can vote online, because you don't today necessarily have to always do things physically. There's technology. Us as Action SA, we successfully in July ran primaries, groundbreaking primaries for 7 days, where people decided on our ward and PR councillors, including the mayors for the 3 metros in Gauteng. We did this. The majority of the people who voted online with a very secure system.
Well, do you think, Dr. Mashaba, that the IEC, which wanted to postpone elections, although it said that it's because it felt as though the elections wouldn't be free and fair because of the pandemic, do you think the IEC will be ready for us to vote online right now?
Well, if they need help, as Action SA, we are happy to really assist them, because we have a system very secure system where people can actually vote. Now here it's a question of registration. If they need help, us as Action SA, we are happy to provide them with the necessary technology for no cost whatsoever.
Is there anything that political parties such as yours will possibly do if the IEC comes back on Wednesday and says actually voter registration cannot happen? Because if voter registration cannot happen, I think then it would not really be a free and fair election if young people cannot have the opportunity to vote or to register to vote at least.
Well, I
So
think
is there any...
let's wait to see. Yeah, I think it will be fair. Let's not really jump the gun, but us as Action SA, we are going to really have this discussion. If ever there's an opportunity for us to use the legal channels available to us, as per the decision of the ConCourt, for them to allow South Africans to register, we reserve our right to really explore this particular matter. So obviously, the announcement by the IEC was yesterday quite late, and I'm in Tekwini for the next few days. But obviously, in the event of any delay, I will immediately call our Senate meeting so that we can take the necessary action and explore our options with our legal people.
All right, while I still have you on the line, Mr. Mashaba, and before I let you go, there's a water crisis, particularly in the city of Johannesburg, and we've just spoken to the MMC for infrastructure development in the city, asking him questions about what is really going on. He says that there's a backlog that is very long. He talks about a disruption that happened in 2016. That, of course, was when you became mayor of Johannesburg. What is happening in terms of the infrastructure there? Did you find out at any point from an MMC who reported to you about the infrastructure in terms of water and electricity in this city?
Well, Mashego, you remember when I took over, within 6 months, I did an exercise of our infrastructure backlog. Our infrastructure backlog in the city of Johannesburg was sitting at about 170 billion rands, and we only had 8 billion rands a year to address this particular matter. But one thing I can tell you, I'm sure you are aware of the massive program we undertook as a new administration to upgrade our water system. We managed to increase our infrastructure spend. When we took over, the previous ANC government used to spend 58% towards infrastructure. By the time I left, the last budget that I presented and executed, we moved it to 71%. We managed to drive up to 2 billion rands of money that in the past was used for international travels and things that which were not really adding anything to the lives of our people. Put it towards the infrastructure backlog. Unfortunately, the ANC has allowed the city of Johannesburg to deteriorate, including obviously overburdening it with these open borders where we don't know how many undocumented people we have in our city. When you prepare the budget as a city, you prepare for the number of people who are in your country, in your city. Now, NC government has allowed our borders to be open. Now, when you provide services, you have to provide services to people who come from failed system. What we are saying as Action SA, we cannot allow a situation where failed governments must outsource their problems to us. We have our own problems in South Africa. 74% of our own people are unemployed. The city of Johannesburg, we've got 170 billion rands infrastructure backlog. And I can tell you right now as I'm talking to you, because of ANC non-service delivery, that backlog, I can tell you right now, must be even worse than when I came into the city at the time.
Did you do anything effective, though, in those years when you were mayor to deal with that, besides throwing those numbers at us in terms of how much you cut down? Did you do anything concrete that would help? Because even right now, we still have issues with infrastructure in Johannesburg.
Absolutely. That is why I'm telling you, we managed to move our infrastructure spend from 58% to 71%, where money was going towards upgrading of our infrastructure, putting in new, bigger pipes, because obviously you might remember the city before 1994 used to only provide major services to the suburbs. But now everyone is in the city of Johannesburg with these hijacked buildings, millions of additional people. But we were not really focusing on our infrastructure backlog. So it was very necessary that we address those issues. But at the end of the day, the Masiko and the people of Johannesburg, no ways you can address 170 billion rands infrastructure backlog with 8 billion rands in 1 year. So, this will really require a new way of thinking. So that we direct money towards infrastructure, but the only way you can direct money towards infrastructure, you've got to make that money. That money has to come from the private sector. So we need investments in the city of Johannesburg so that more of our people can work, because when more people work, they are able to really pay for the services.
All right. Action SA leader Herman Mashaba, thank you very much for your time here on ENCA.